to understand. Let me hit the live here. Let me hit the live here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Cause I'm hitting the live here too. Cause we live now, and I'm just
You know.
you first. How you doing, bro?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm good.
How
I'm
you,
here,
how,
man.
how
You
you
know,
doing? How you doing?
just trying to do my due diligence. Let's you know
I'm
what I'm saying?
sorry.
How you? How you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Oh,
Hello, everybody. Welcome. I know it's been a minute. See, I know there's no context in this at all. There's no
but
context.
I got to say it. I got to say it. So look, a couple weeks ago, we had a team meeting, and in that team meeting, I was challenged to do a couple things, which is fine. You know, just good positive feedback. Say, hey, Mike, listen. You
Let's
know,
try something different.
let's try something different. Let's not try to go so much the toxic route on topics. Let's do some different things. So
Absolutely.
in our hiatus, I've been, just trying to do just that, but trying to still remain true to what this show is about, still remain true to myself and what we represent. But I also something came across my desk and I thought it was very interesting. Now, normally I tell Irvin, don't watch what I send
This is
because I
true.
want the pure reaction
And
from
you
when
you
you
got
first
it.
see
You
it.
got it today.
So
You got it
so
today. It
this happened
was
today. He watched it before going live. So if you see him a little amped, first and foremost,
yeah,
for
for all intent and purposes, I pre-gamed what
okay,
was going down right now.
first and
It
foremost,
was
this is the Narrative Project podcast.
yes,
Your boy
yes.
Jay the Icon is, we're gonna do this in his absence. He's
Absolutely.
taking
He
care of
handling
some things,
business right now.
handling business down, pray for
Absolutely.
everybody, shout out everybody who's going through this rain and these storms and all that thing. But we
Absolutely.
decided to just come give y'all a little something for the time being. So, I'm here, your boy Mike. We got Irwin the Ford. And Jay the Icon is always here, even if he ain't here.
he here. He here. But you and this here that you just shared with me, bro. This is
So check this out. We're gonna play this video, right? And this young lady said a lot in this video. And we're going to break down from our perspective on what we feel about what this is.
this video
So,
right here. I need y'all to see this.
so go ahead on and cue that on and
A
play
man
it.
can manipulate you with a lie and he can manipulate you with the truth. But the men who really are master manipulators, they're the ones that's going to tell you the truth because they understand that you're going to tell yourself a lie in order to stay connected to them. I've even heard a quote that said, you don't even have to lie to a woman. If she likes you enough, she going to lie to herself. And this is how you end up getting tied up with a man who not going to give you anything you need. You meet him and he be like, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm not ready for no
Yeah, I don't
relationship.
want to go
But
there
he
and I
still
won't go
wines
there.
and dines you, still brings you flowers, still spends the night with you, still has sex with you, does all the things that he would do if he was in a relationship with you, and you fall for that and you say, well, why you treating me like this if you don't want to be with me? He gonna be like, I told you I didn't want to be in this relationship. That's the trick. The truth gives him the power over you because you get to make all your decisions. And then when you start tripping on him and telling him, well, you did this and you did that and I thought this and I thought that, he gonna be like, no, but I told you. So I know that most men who are really manipulative don't even be lying to women. They tell women the truth. The only difference is they'll tell you the truth. I'm not ready for a relationship, but they'll do the exact opposite of what they said. So if what he says is not matching what he's doing, then 9 times out of 10, you are being manipulated. If he tells you he loves you, but he's not doing anything to prove that to you, that's manipulative too, because he'll tell you what you want to hear, but he will never do the things that align with what he's telling you. So, how do you know you're not being manipulated? Words match with actions consistently. And the minute the words stop matching the actions or the actions stop matching the words, you know that this is not a serious person. Consistency is the telltale sign of if a motherfucker real with you. But I believe in trusting your intuition, asking God to reveal people to you, making sure that you don't give so much of yourself to where you invest too much and you feel like once you find out the truth, you can't walk away, because that's what we do. We fall in love with behaviors and with words before we give people time to prove if that's who they genuinely are. Don't just see how they treat you, see how they treat other people, see how they treat waiters and waitresses. How do they treat their parents? What do people tell them about themselves? What do their families say? Have you been around him in different rooms and different environments? Have you seen the way he interacts when he's angry? Have you seen how he acts when he's under stress? Have you seen how he is when he's away from you and when he's with you? That's how you will know. That's how you'll know. Time and patience.
Go ahead, sir. After you.
Okay, I'm gonna start off with everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and she's
Okay.
entitled to hers, by all means. However, comma, where did she do her part in this? She
Her
prayed to
fault.
God. She said it was his fault for telling the truth. Where did she take fault for telling herself the lie?
Nowhere.
I'm just I'm just trying to understand if I'm missing something in this. And I don't think I'm missing something in this. I feel like I'm slow though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm feeling a little slow. A lot of slow.
Hmm.
Because what I'm not understanding here is where did what where did she state it was her fault for not track? Because again, she's talking about this intuition and everything,
Hmm.
and she talked out of both sides of her mouth because there was at least one part in there that I heard where first she said consistency was the lie, then she said consistency was the truth.
Hmm. So
So
we
am I
did a.
wrong because I wanted to have, and I'm legit asking this. Am I wrong because I myself could be on the business end of this.
Hmm.
Am I wrong if I want to have a good time, go out, and all of this? Am I wrong for wanting to do that and showing a person a good time if I state out the gate that I don't want to be in a relationship? I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong. We we did a live a couple months back with on Mr. Red Pill, and
Okay.
you, him, and Jay. I was just listening. That's it. It was very very entertaining show
Okay.
where y'all kept stating that you always get a choice.
You always get a choice.
You always get a choice. And once somebody tells you they're not interested in having the things that interested in the things that you want, you have a choice to leave. If you choose to stay, whatever come with you staying is what you're gonna get.
Respected or
So if that
rejected.
so if that person says, "Listen, I'm here for a good time, but not a long time, and I'm willing to, I'm gonna treat you with respect. I'm gonna open doors. I'm gonna do all these things. I'm gonna treat you. It's a good time. I am a good time."
Hell, I'll go one better. I'm here for a good time. It's up to you if it becomes a long time.
True, true,
Because we
true.
can have a good time for
Good
a
time.
long time,
Okay. Very true, very true. I've been there as well.
especially
You
if
can
I've
have a
set
good
the
time.
terms of agreement.
I set the terms. I'm a gentleman. I'm gonna give this whole experience every time you're with me.
Absolutely.
But I also, the fine print said from the beginning, I don't want nothing more than this. You get the choice to
Occasional
respect it.
distraction, I go back to adulting.
Hmm. I have no, anything I do is purely up, is my choice. Anything I do with you, how far I go with you, is purely my choice. But I'm saying I 100% do not want a relationship.
Then, I mean, the conversation got, I mean, at some point we veered off topic even in when she was talking. Because at first she talked about manipulation. Then at some point she said, look at him in all his environments and everything like that. Then I got lost because at the end of the day, I'm just me. I'm gonna be me 24/7, 365.
Mm-hmm.
If I state who I am and I'm telling you the truth, I'm not manipulating you. If anything, I'm not taking your choice.
Exactly. Exactly. Like what you call it? That dopamine.
Yeah,
That dopamine becomes not the experience. The experience that whatever you feeling when you with me, but I'm still telling you this is not more than that.
exactly. What am I at that point? What is the problem? You can't make me the bad guy at that point.
There's always somebody to blame because the
And
damn
here's the
show
thing,
ain't
and
gonna
I'm
be.
and I'm sure I'm not denying that at all. I'm pretty sure there's
Mm,
somebody to blame. But if I never, and this goes back, if you, I'll go even further back. Do you remember when I was on this live and not my proudest moment, but I was using online dating apps to
I
find
remember.
friends,
I
and I
remember.
was in the friends section,
Mm-hmm.
and for some strange reason, I got ripped a new one
Mm-hmm.
for being in the friend section, the casual relationship section, stating that that's all I was looking for. I was
Mm-hmm.
the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
I still can't tell you because we had a whole
I've just
situation in that.
I've just come to the conclusion that people want to be lied to because it
Oh,
makes
for
it
sure. For sure.
easier
Mm-hmm.
than the truth. I'm not I'm this is one man's opinion, but it's like when you tell I feel like I get more visceral reactions when I tell the truth than when I lie. It's actually harder to come up with the lie because most of the time it is what it is. It's neither good nor bad. I tell this to people all the time. Whatever it just is. It's not good nor bad. I just did decide if I want to deal with it or not.
And here's the funny thing: growing up, we always learned that there was a good and a bad. There was always either the one or the two. We learned it. I'm talking about from even in wrestling, like before it became we had these multi heels. We had a good guy and we had a bad guy. You know what
Absolutely.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
Hulk
before
Hogan was
things
the
got
good
complicated.
guy. Hulk Hogan was the good guy, and we had Andre the Giant. He was the bad guy.
Yes.
There was, and we grew up with that premise, and then we learned as we got older. No, people can make anything good when they want to make it good, and make it bad when they want to make it
When they
bad.
want to make it bad.
And I think that's
Period.
the confusion part. And I've learned, and it took me all of my years to learn that people you can really make anything. You can see the good in anything if you truly want to. If that's what you want to see, you can make anything in this world good. And I think the internet has helped with that a lot.
True.
Where you really can't tell, like you can make
But
anything.
what is, I go back to what is even good or bad. I've said this since as long as I can remember. Good and bad is subjective.
But that's not what we was taught.
Again, and this
Yeah.
is why we always say adulting ain't learning anything new. It's about unlearning
Right, right,
everything we
right,
were
right.
taught because this is the perfect example of that. As you become an adult, you and I had a very good sense of understanding of what right and wrong was
Hmm.
when we got to up until our 20s, or so we
For sure,
thought.
for sure, for
From
sure.
your 20s to your 40s, you watched that black and white get gray as hell.
Hmm.
You missed, you longed for the days of black and white.
Hmm.
Because at some point you was like, is everything gray?
And I think that's where, like, for me, I think that, like, I'm telling my age in this one, but like when you grew up in the 80s and 90s, like I'm talking about before the computers, before internet,
Mm-hmm.
everything was just that. It was black and white. And then you get somewhere, when you start getting closer to the end, the middle, mid, or I guess end of the 90s, where the computers and all the age and the technology age started to come on, and then you have the people who only know about the
Yes.
technology age. So we
There's a
caught in this
generation that
area,
will only date online coming
right?
through right now.
So it's like I feel like the ones of us who haven't adapted all the way, but the ones that knew what the world was before the internet,
The hybrids. Yeah,
it
we in
gets a little
betweens.
confusing because we
Yeah.
still live off this. This is good and this is bad. So we've been told.
But that goes back to the whole truth thing. The good and bad is just like the truth and the lie. A lot of times, you even talk about people who get canceled. Some of these people get canceled solely for telling the truth. I'm
Yes.
canceled for saying this is what I believe in. Now, hey, I'm not saying, hey, let me state right now, I'm not saying I agree every time with what people say. But you can't sit here
Wait.
and say freedom of speech.
That's exactly where I was going with it. That's exactly where I was going with it. How you
I
gonna tell me
can
I got freedom of speech, but I get canceled for telling my truth?
and it goes to show you how we've we've lost independent thinking. It's becoming more and more scarce now. This herd mentality where when one person's angry, everybody has to be angry. You remember back in the day when if you had a sister or you knew a sister in your life, whether you had one or just a chick that you knew, there was that
Mm-hmm.
weird rule that when one was mad at the particular boy, everybody had to be mad.
Mm-hmm.
I never understood that rule. I genuinely never understood that rule. Like, why? Cause you mad at him, I gotta be mad at him. Can I at least know what they did, or do we? Or am I just mad?
And even when I find out what they did, and I determine that maybe you was wrong, why I still got to be mad?
Why I'm taking sides? I'm not taking sides. I'm just saying that I don't get down like that. I didn't say you were wrong. I said I don't get down like that.
To be honest, I don't think we ever had independent thinking.
We
I,
did have it at one point. Let me tell you, we had
you
it.
think?
Yes, we had it before social media where we could all collab in such a way now to where we can push the narrative. Back in the day, conversations had to be had individually to create that type of thing. Now, if I spin the story right with just the right video, I got you hooked one time. I don't have to constantly reiterate my point to different people to vet it. Now, if I tell a story good enough, it shares itself almost, thus the
And
term
the
viral.
funny thing about it, to add on to what you're talking about, even when they find out the truth, they don't care no more. That'd be
Because
the
again,
crazy part.
it's easier now. I've already believed this narrative. You take our sister here. I love her to death because first and foremost, you know me. I love women. I got
Mm-hmm.
no qualms about them. We all believe in
Mm-hmm.
what we believe in everything. But there's a part in this that I sadly disagree. If he tells you where he stands and he still chooses to pour into you, that was his choice. Just like it was your choice to let me pour into you. At
But
any
that's what I was
point
about
when
to
I
say.
said that, you could have dialed back. When I was wooing you, you could have easily said, "Hey, pump the brakes, big dog."
But here's the funny thing about it. it that person had to be there to get wooed.
But again, let's let like she said, let's just say he started off doing the opposite of what he said. He was taking you out on the dates and he wooed you. After about the second or third time, you had some point you could have said, "Hey, you're sending me mixed signals if that's what you felt," and back the hell out. At any point, you could have gotten off this ride. At any point,
But
you
she
could have
also,
gotten off this ride.
right, she also mentioned manipulation. Here's the thing though. You were trying to turn him even after he told you the truth. So technically you're trying to manipulate him into being something that he said that he wasn't. You
Absolutely.
felt like you so it's like, like
Absolutely.
we know this. That's how he can get to that point. You felt like you can turn him. That person, that's like this. That's like any alcoholic. Let's take an alcoholic, for instance. When they tell you, like, yo, once you go to the meetings and you trying to rehab, you can't have just one drink. You can't, because that's a gateway to more drinks. So if that
Absolutely.
person, so if that person is telling you, yo, like, nah, like, that's not what I'm here for, but you know you like the feeling of what that person is giving you, that's a gateway to getting your
Absolutely.
feelings hurt.
You can't make that person the bad guy at that point. That's how I look at it. And again, don't get me wrong. If we say there's a time and place where hey, I don't have to invite you to the ball if I know you don't drink, but I also don't get your feelings if I don't invite you to the ball. It works both ways. Like, hey man, now if you can handle your business and you can hold yourself, by all means you can come. But I thought I was doing you a solid. So if anything, fuss at me for taking your choice. I'll take that lick.
Mm-hmm.
Because honestly, it goes back to what I've said. It comes down to the same thing. Don't take the choice. Choice. That is the word of the day. Sesame Street is brought to you today by the letter C for choice.
It's a choice.
That's what it comes down to.
Mm-hmm.
You got two: respect it or reject it. I'm fine either way. Hell, you can even check it. I'll give you an option C. You can check it one time. But once it's been checked, there's only two other options left after that. Let's say I say, hey, this is what I want. I wanted, hey, well, I'm not looking for that. After 3 months, I'm rolling out. You checked it. At the third month, I got no choice at that point to accept that you're rolling out, or we keep this thing going, right?
But if you stay, you've accepted the term.
Let's say
Your 7-day trial is over.
let's say you come to my house and my house is grimy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's grimy that first day, and I tell you, oh, that's my bad. I wasn't used to company, blah, 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 blah. You come over about the second or the third time, and I still ain't cleaned up yet. If you move into this apartment, you can't tell me nothing about the griminess at that point.
Or if one day out of them couple of days I cleaned up, let's say I clean up, you see the potential of what this could be.
Yeah,
That's a word.
yeah,
That
yeah,
potential.
yeah. That's that P word. That's another one of those 4-letter words. Potential.
The potential of what this could be. That don't
Yeah,
mean it's gonna be that every day. But you still accepted it. You took the chance. You took the chance on,
yeah.
but you still had the choice.
You fell in love with my potential. Again, don't
Mm-hmm.
make me the bad guy. Don't make me the bad guy in that situation. Hold on, I'm gonna make because again, that's what I don't understand in this. Just because I did it this one again, consistency. What I'm consistently doing. If I've also told you, hey, I don't like talking every day. There are days I want to talk. There's days I don't. If I'm free, I'm free. If I'm not, I'm not. I'll tell you all the time. You can
Mm-hmm.
call 24/7, 365. There's never an off time you can't call. If I can answer, I'm going to answer. If I can't, I
Okay.
can't. Period. Don't ask me what I'm doing. Don't ask me where I'm at because that's none of your business. Here's one better. I don't ask you. So here's before you say it's an opposite. I don't ask you. If I don't get a response from you, I assume you handling business. I assume you're busy. That's it.
It's it just, like I said, it baffles me how, like, in, like, you start, like how we started this. And no side of the coin was it her fault ever.
No, at all.
Like, if the person manipulates you with a lie and the truth, that's not that person.
At
That's
no
you.
point. That's you. You can't make them the bad guy at that point. Because again, all of in what you're saying, you can't, you not one time took ownership of that. Clearly, clearly, this is something she did to herself. This is her origin story. We're looking at her origin story. She told herself. She told herself a lie.
And
My
then,
guess is the boo thing told her the truth.
of
She did
course,
not like at some point. I
and
mean, it writes itself.
you know what I also don't like in that either.
Hmm.
Person will put themselves through all of that, but then have the nerve to have a comeback story. Like once they figure out, instead of never holding themselves accountable, but it's like, oh, I went through so much in my life, and this person did this to me, and all this. No, you leave out certain context. You leave out the fact that that person gave you a choice from the beginning. You went through all you went through because of your own doing.
Absolutely. At no point did he manipulate you.
No,
At no
you
point.
push, you pushed and you pushed and you pushed, and you
And at
offered
some
all
point,
type of gifts.
you hit him with what you didn't want to hit him with. You hit him with the ultimatum. And he hit you back with the boundary. And you didn't like that. You gotta
And you
understand. There's always a Rick James in a relationship that's gonna be the habitual line stepper. There's
mhm.
always it has to happen because I don't know what it is about us as human beings, but we say we have boundaries, but the first thing we want to give to that particular person is an exclusion to the boundary. When, if anything, the person should actually want to honor the boundary more than see it as an exclusion of the boundary.
but
Now,
that
there's
but
certain
that's
exceptions to that in certain situations.
but most of that is ego. Your
Yeah.
ego wouldn't allow you to walk away saying that person didn't want you the way you wanted them, or the way
No,
you wanted them to want you.
no,
That becomes ego, and it's like you gotta take that shit on the chin. You just like you ain't for everybody. Everybody not for you. And there's some
absolutely.
people are the right people as far as personality wise for you, but just the look is just not what you want, and you just go the opposite route. And then that person, the other person, has the look that you want, but their personality and everything else about them is just totally off. But you will keep accepting all that bullshit because that's the look that you want. You chose want over need,
Yeah,
and nine
because
times
that's
out of
what you
10,
need. At the end of the day, if I told you this is what it is and you want something, it's a deal breaker.
mm-hmm.
It's a deal
And I
breaker.
think a lot of times people don't understand that, like as far as yes, there's a physical attraction, but there's also the people that you're attracted to, but they're the best for you. But some people just want to go for the best physical attraction. You don't always get both. And I'm not saying that person's ugly in no way, shape, form, or fashion, but
No,
that person can be like, as far as this, I'm ultra attracted to this person, but there's an attraction to this person, but the fit, personality wise, the chemistry, what we like, what we don't like, we are aligned in that and we make the best couple.
no. And that's the biggest problem in this is that when we set what it is, again, I'm all willing to take it on the chin, but you got to tell me what I did.
Hmm. But that's where it gets tricky because sometimes that person just does not want to believe, and
And I
obviously,
don't want
excuse
to
me, she's one of those.
invalidate you, but again, when you listen to the sister's story, she clearly did not like his answer because he was still doing. And I get that. I get that. I've heard this since time immemorial. You're sending mixed signals. That's debatable to me. Because here's the thing, and this is how I can say it's debatable to me. If I was going out on a date, if I was going out with a female, yeah, there's certain things I do different. But I'm still trying to have a good time, even if I went out with the fellas, yeah, I would still be the same me. Either way.
But here's the thing: the only way a person can send you those mixed signals is if that person is when you ask that person, "How do you feel about me?" and they tell you, "I don't know."
Yeah.
Then that becomes mixed signals. But if somebody clearly says, "Hey, I'm just not in the mind frame to want to be in a relationship, But man, we can hang out. We can
I
have a good
love
time.
kicking it with you. I love going out. I love having a good time. I like kicking it with you. You are good damn people. I'm just not ready for no relationship right now.
And and the thing about it is, what's funny about the ego is that's not exclusive to you.
That ain't
That
you.
just could be where
That's the
I'm
beauty.
at.
It has absolutely nothing to do with you. This is where I am at right now. Period. Back in the day, I knew a sister. I cannot remember her name. But she said that she only dated people 3 months at a time. And then after that, she broke up with them. Because that's what she was into at the time. I'm like, they got two choices at that point. You know where you stand. You only with them for 90 days and you're moving on. They can't
Man,
get mad. The choice is
listen,
yours.
listen. I've been in the situations and I've known people that just, man, they just fun to be around.
That's
Everything
it.
about when you with them is
I know
fun
tons
to
of people
be
that are
around.
great to be around. There is no way in hell I'd be in a relationship with them, though.
Because the funny thing about it is, they're not only fun to be around just for you, they're fun to be around to every damn body. And it's when it's your turn. Because ain't nothing crazier than, and I think a lot of us have been in those situations where you may have been with somebody on a different level 2 nights prior, and then you see them 2 days later, they walking around somebody else. You're like, wait, that's the energy they was giving to me.
Hey, do you? Now that I know, do you? I'm not even mad at you no
Man,
more.
some people, but a lot of people mind can't take that. They gonna confront the shit out of them.
Nope. Clearly, this is the way you play your character. We're going back to this being the game. Clearly, the way you play your character is a rogue. Be a rogue. Do you?
I mean, but that's when you know better, you do better. That's later on. But man, when you
This is
going
true.
through
This is true.
it,
This is true.
when you going, because in order to understand how to be that at that time, you had to have gone through.
Oh,
You
yeah,
got to.
yeah.
That's
Yeah, you got to go
you've
through it
been
in a way to realize that this ain't
you've
got
been
nothing
on
to
the
do with you.
wrong business end of that transaction for sure.
You don't respect the gun till you've been shot. I mean, let's just be real.
What your parents tell you, man, don't touch that stove. It's
That's it.
hot.
It's hot.
It's hot. But the only way you gonna learn is
It's to get cooked. That's just the way it works. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to see it. But the only way you're going to learn is to get cooked. And I
and
feel for her. I really do feel for her. But at the end of the day, no, man.
I don't necessarily feel for her because she's so confident in what she's saying. She's not timid about it. That means she really believes this is what it is.
But that's actually why I feel for her. Because it's like, oh my God, what else? This is not an isolated incident, Mike. That's the thing that worries me.
True, but here's the thing: if that shoe was on that other foot, she wouldn't have no mercy on you, or me,
Oh,
or
no.
anybody else.
Not at
That's
all.
what that's
Not at all.
that's
We'd
why
have
I
that
don't.
smoke
That's
so fast.
because think about it. If you go back into that same live when we was all talking, when you was talking about those very same things, there were a lot of women on that live that told you was wrong,
Oh,
and I'm
dead
talking about with
ass.
passion, telling you were
They were
leading
10
these women on.
toes.
And I was baffled because I kept saying, but wait a minute, they don't have to be there. They don't have to stay having conversation with this man. They don't. Go find somebody else who you share same joy with, but wants to be into you like that.
So, how would you say manipulation shows up? Like, what are some examples of manipulation? Since clearly we can't see what she did as manipulation, what would you
Come on,
say?
in her situation or
Yeah,
just
in
in
her,
general?
no, just in general. Let's say in this situation here, we're going to say the way she described that there was no real manipulation, right?
Hmm.
Let's take a scenario like that still, but where would manipulation be?
I think manipulation would be if there's a situation where you and another person had a conversation and you ask that person, "Hey, is there a chance that me and you can be something more?"
Mm-hmm.
And that person tells you it's a chance, let's just keep building, right?
Okay.
If they say let's keep building, and so clearly that person has told you, like, man, there's an opportunity. So what you're gonna do? You're gonna end up giving that person your all because you're trying to build something with them. Then we
Okay.
get
All the
to
time that they're knowing that there's never going to be that.
exactly. So here we are, 4 or 5 months, 6 or 7 months down the line. We've gotten personal. We've spent nights. We've helped each other through tough times. Just we went through every emotion that there is to have a connection to the end. The end of the rainbow is for you and that person to be together. And then
Hmm.
they hit you with, "Nah, I'm not ready yet." That's
Okay.
manipulation. That person led you all the way to the finish line just to not cross it with you.
Okay. But all the time telling you there was a chance.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because
So even if
because
they did all of those things and y'all went through that whole emotional spectrum, but you knew that there wasn't a chance from the get go, that's different.
it's completely different.
Okay.
Because that person told you, because now at that point I'm taking I'm taking my fate into my own hands that I could get hurt because I'm telling myself, man, nah, this is me right here. If I go to
Okay.
doing all the things I know how to do and putting on the charm and started, being that showing up for this person, ain't no way this person gonna reject me.
Okay.
That's a decision you made on your own.
Okay. I can see that. And that's
Like
different
this.
because at that point you're asking straight up to define this. And if I
Hmm.
tell you at that point that there's a chance, that's different.
Because okay, think about it like this. A lot of people, they will tell you, I don't want to say sob stories, but they tell you what they've been through, and they will paint the picture of everybody else being the bad guy or girl to them. So a lot of people look at that and say, you know what, man, I'm different. And they start doing everything in their power to show that person that they're different in order to be with them. And you took all the gifts, you took all the pampering, you took all the whatever that person had to give, just to tell them at the end, nah, I'm not into, I'm not looking for what you're looking for. But you took everything. Because I'm a firm believer that when we're in a situation where you know that person is interested in you, stop taking shit from them. That person is not doing that because you're a beautiful person. They just love doing it. No, they're doing that with the intent on being with you. Ain't that much friendship in the damn world.
Hmm.
Because true friends, for the most part, yeah, y'all can help each other out here and there when y'all can be there for each other. But the main thing is we're listening to you're a person that I can call when I can vent to. I can talk
I
through
would almost
situations.
say for me, true friends help each other out. True friends rarely buy each other gifts.
Now, wait, now that's
I didn't say they
on
don't always do it. Of course, you got birthdays, Christmas.
right, right.
I'm gonna
But
say,
but
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 they're more inclined to help each other. I'd rather give you $100 on your rent than buy you something for $100 if I'm your true
oh,
friend.
would you say that's more um with your partners, with your homeboys, or male female?
Nope, I'll even do it. I've done it before, male, female. If I'm,
Yeah, no,
if you my people, you my people. If I fuck with you,
right.
I fuck with you.
Now, granted, a lot of times that comes with us talking to each other about other relationships. So we
Absolutely.
kind of know what it is with us as friends.
Hmm.
So if we're constantly talking to each other about other people and situations, now there are situations where later on down the line we may determine, hey, you know what? We've been giving everybody else a try. Let's me and you give each other a try. Now that's different. But if
Hmm.
we just on some, we constantly talking about we homies, we talking about family. This my partner. We ain't never went there. You know what I'm
Oh,
saying?
then
Because
I'm all up in the
exactly,
gray. I'm all up in the gray then, cause
exactly.
I'm I'm 52 shades up in that damn gray if that's
But
the case.
that's why I asked you. You know what I'm saying,
Because
Mel?
I've done again for me, male, 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 female. If I'm gonna do for you, I'm gonna do for you. Are there
No,
some that
I'm on
here's the
that
thing?
type time too,
Well, no, but I'm gonna go one better. Are there
right?
some females that I kick it with that I've been intimate with that I do for? Yes. Or there's some that I'm platonic with that I still do for. Yes. It don't matter to me. It's the person.
I'm cool with that, but at the same time, I mean, hmm,
But you got to know your boundaries. You got to know your place.
right, and you also
That's
got
the
to know that
difference.
person,
I know
right?
the thing is, and that goes back to the only person that can be consistent in this is me. That's why I stay true to who
But I
I
would like,
am.
but I would like to think that just knowing you, that you would have said, "Hey, this is not what I'm on." You know what
Exactly.
I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
would
Like
still let you
you,
know, look, I'm still gonna
so,
help you out, but keep in mind still I'm not your boo thing. I'm
right,
not your
right.
man.
So, and I'm cool. I'm cool with that part. But there's some
Yeah.
people that just have that. I don't know. It's weird. It's kind of hard to explain. But I
No,
mean,
and I get it. I get it. Sometimes that's how you become.
right, 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 right.
But I have actually given 5 bills to somebody and not bat an eye. Just because and was I intimate with this person? Yeah. But here's the thing. I've also given 5 bills to someone that I wasn't.
Hold
It
up. I'm here. I can hear you. Just keep talking.
yeah,
Keep talking.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So for me, I don't fully understand what that part has to do with it. And that's where I think I'm lost on a lot of this stuff. Now, I know there's a lot of you who didn't see the video, so I'm gonna actually throw it back up one last time so that y'all can see it. I want you guys to check it out. But she's talking about manipulation at the end of the day. Hold on, check this out.
A man can manipulate you with a lie and he can manipulate you with the truth. But the men who really are master manipulators, they're the ones that's going to tell you the truth because they understand that you're going to tell yourself a lie in order to stay connected to them. I've even heard a quote that said, you don't even have to lie to a woman. If she likes you enough, she going to lie to herself. And this is how you end up getting tied up with a man who not going to give you anything you need. You meet him and he be like, hey, I'm just letting you know I'm not ready for no relationship. But he still wines and dines you, still brings you flowers, still spends the night with you, still has sex with you, does all the things that he would do if he was in a relationship with you, and you fall for that and you say, well, why you treating me like this if you don't want to be with me? He gonna be like, I told you I didn't want to be in this relationship. That's the trick. The truth gives him the power over you because you get to make all your decisions. And then when you start tripping on him and telling him, well, you did this and you did that and I thought this and I thought that, he gonna be like, no, but I told you. So I know that most men who are really manipulative don't even be lying to women. They tell women the truth. The only difference is they'll tell you the truth. I'm not ready for a relationship, but they'll do the exact opposite of what they said. So if what he says is not matching what he's doing, then 9 times out of 10, you are being manipulated. If he tells you he loves you, but he's not doing anything to prove that to you, that's manipulative too, because he'll tell you what you want.
Let me stop right there. Because right there is where she contradicted herself.
Mm-hmm.
First, he never said he loved you and was doing something else. If anything, you had a problem with him doing love you type things without saying I love you. And then in the very next breath, you said if he says I love you and don't do things, I need you to pick a lane. 30 seconds prior to that, you just said he's taking you out, he's wooing you, and all of this stuff. And 9 times out of 10, he's manipulating you. But then immediately says, but if he says I love you, but don't do anything, then he's being, which one is the manipulative? Now that one I can see. If I tell you I love you and I'm not doing anything, absolutely.
Mm. My thing is this: a lot of people operate from a place where I don't want to be hurt. I don't want to be hurt. But think about it. Think about how many different people that you've interacted with on a level where it could be something, and there's actually people that you actually, dated or went with or whatever the case may be, that you ultimately didn't end up with. So
I abs-
people don't like to talk about the chance part. We just because somebody can do one person can do exactly what she said and don't be hitting on shit. The
mm-hmm.
other person can do the same thing and then, man, we got together and we've been together all this time. So it's all chance. People don't like to talk about that. I
Yeah.
don't want to get hurt. You're going to. You're going to
No,
get
what you're
hurt, and
trying to
you're
say
going
is you
to
don't
hurt.
want to put yourself in a position to be hurt. But at
Hmm.
the end of the day, that's what you need to understand. You need to take that control back. If you're out there in that way, put yourself in position not to be hurt. Me telling you I don't want to be in a relationship is me doing that. That's me taking responsibility. I'm not
Hmm.
trying to put myself in that position. I like to go out, I like to have a good time, but I don't want that obligation and I don't want that pressure. I want to do it because I want to do it, not
But
because I feel obligated to do it.
there's also an accountability in that as well. Because if you sit up there and you don't listen to the signs that somebody's telling you, like, yo, I'm not on this, you put yourself in position to be hurt, but you don't want to say that about yourself. You
I
want to sit
absolutely
and
agree
blame
with
that
that.
other person like she's doing.
No, I absolutely agree with that. And that goes back to what we said. Well, you can't make me the bad guy at that point. I'm not. Because again, you take me for example. I can answer this question. Hey, why are you doing all of this if you don't want to be with me? Because I like going out, I like having a good time, and I like good company.
And also, I'm genuinely me.
Exactly. And I'm doing it
If
because I want to do it. If I'm with you, I feel obligated to do it. And I don't want
and,
to feel obligated to do it.
and watch this. I'm not gonna say everything, but that a lot of things is not that I'm doing is not exclusive to you. This is just who I am. If I open doors, if I bring flowers, or if I like a certain drink, and if I introduce you to certain members of my family or my friends, that's just who I am. The movie, we all characters in one movie.
That's it.
Yeah, we can play other parts, but for the most part, I am me. Irwin, since the moment I met you on the podcast, you've been Irwin. From the moment you
That's
met
it.
Mike, I've
You've
been
been
Mike.
Mike.
There's things that, yeah, we may have learned and we may have calmed down from, like, our stances or have kind of came down a little bit because because you was all super sunflower when we first met you, but you know what I'm saying. But there's things now you could just tell in your speech how you talking,
Absolutely.
like you know what, Irwin done went through a little more on this by myself thing, and now
Absolutely.
and there are also things where I'm like, you know what, damn, I
Oh,
made a
I'll be the
thought this.
first to say, since that hiatus, we both have come back and we are reintroducing ourselves.
True, very, very true. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? But the premise, you know what I'm saying? This is like the part two. It's
Absolutely.
not. It's still it's not that different from part one, but it is different because again, you
Hmm.
have more to go off. And and I'm gonna be honest. There's certain things prior to this podcast on the women's side of things. I just didn't think y'all thought that way. That's why it was so shocking to me. Like, wait,
Not at all.
y'all really think like that? And they like, yes. It's like, wow. And then after, you hear it so much, like, all right, I'm not even phased by it no more. Okay, you're right. Y'all consistent. This is, what I'm saying? This is who y'all are. That lack of accountability is a thing. And it seems like everything that becomes y'all say we don't hold ourselves accountable because you don't.
Or
And
if you
that's
do, you
primary.
don't hold it to the same level.
And
I'll
just
give you
like
that.
this.
Let's say you do it. You do not do
Hmm.
it at the same level, though. I
Exactly.
refuse to believe that.
Because I can guarantee that in those comments, not every woman, but a lot of women were like, "Yeah, you right," applauding that. But at some point, somebody that looks like her has to say, "Well, damn. Well, what side is he? What right can he do in this situation?
Hmm.
Because you gave all. If he told you the truth, then he's wrong.
Apparently.
If he tells you a lie, okay, he's wrong. But the truth and stay consistent in that.
Walked it. Walked his truth, too. He's still a bad guy.
And they expect you just to stand on that and live on that. And if you try to argue that point or tell them they tripping, then all of a sudden you don't like them.
Hmm.
How? I don't understand that. People say, well, we all giving our opinions, and somehow my opinion makes me either manipulative or like it that way, but it's like, but you giving a different opinion, but then you come to find that you were wrong in that. Or like my thing is, go back and listen to yourself. Just really listen to yourself and be like, damn, well, what part did I play?
That's all I ask. Honestly, that's the only part. We're good, bad, or indifferent on how you feel. Just go back and truly see what was your part in it. There's blame to go around all the way. Just look and see what your part is.
But at some point, that's another thing too, though. Somebody has to have more blame because a lot of times people like it to break even, and if we break even, then nothing changes.
But it
If
won't
we
always
both,
break even. We know this.
but they will try to make it out to be. There's some people, females, that well, guess what? If I'm at fault, then you got to be at fault too. And you're like, huh? Yeah, I'm not about to be at fault alone. We both got to be at fault. And to me, when we always at that point, we gonna break even. Nothing changes. How could you learn?
And I guess that's when I'm like, all right, fine, you got this.
Most guys do. You
You
got it.
got this. I'm not doing this. I got real stuff I'm trying to do. I'm not doing this. I'm
Yo,
I'm
E,
sorry.
you got. I can see it in your face. You got frustrated with even the thought of
The
like,
I'm not. Because I've done this so many times, you can see the muscle memory in me where it's like, I'm not I'm not explaining myself no more. Clearly I'm not for you. Fine. Go on.
you got it, dog.
You
Like
got it,
you
dog.
got it.
Do
You
you.
got it, bro.
7.9 billion more to go. I'm good. I'm so
I
good.
don't. I don't understand it, man. But
I'm so good. I'm so good.
at
Now,
this
we done
point,
been
like,
at this. We done been at this for an hour now, but I know you had another video.
I mean, this is cool. We can keep
I
going. I mean,
mean, you tell me. I know you had this other video here.
well, I think the other one is more informative on what men think, and I think it kind of like go ahead.
Yeah. What'd you say?
I think it kind of validates like some of the stuff we're talking about. What he's saying as far as communication. So
Okay. All right. Cool. Let's check it out.
yeah.
Communication, but there are some men who are great at it and still running the brick walls when it comes time to express themselves to their woman, right? So we got to accept the fact that some women just don't take information well when they are the cause of the issue that the man is bringing to them, right? Like they want communication about how hard my job is. I'm tired. My best friend snaked me, man. My mama tripping. My family want this from me, all that. And all that. They open ears. They sitting down with their therapist legs crossed with the notepad and everything. Open ears to listen to you, right? But when it comes time for me to sit down and tell you about what you're doing wrong, it's not as open. It's not as much of a, okay, I'm going to sit here and let him get at least a complete thought out before I jump in and I interrupt him before he gets across what he's trying to express. So again, if you want your man to be more communicative, ladies, let me give you a tip. Stop interrupting him when he's coming to you and he's trying to express himself. Acknowledge the fact that it took him a lot to sit down and talk to you in the first place. So when I sit down and I try and you interrupt me every 4 words, and then you question, damn, why don't my man talk to me? He talk to his friends, he talk to everybody, but he don't talk to me. It's because you can't shut up and accept what it is that man that loves you more than anything in this world is trying to get across. So again, if we want more communication, let's open the door for it.
I put my hands on my face.
I saw that. I saw that.
Been there.
I've been there.
Like, that hit home so much. I have a thing where I've told my people, how could I tell you what's wrong if I can't actually tell you what's wrong? If I have to always remix certain words because I know the minute you hear that word, it's going to be a trigger, oh, I have to stop and I have to I'm damn near, I'm so timid when I'm speaking my words because I'm trying so hard to communicate how I need to get you to understand what I'm feeling. I never get my point across.
No, I've been there as well. Well, because I'm so worried about what the backlash is, I can't actually tell you what the problem is. Because
All
the
because
moment I
I
say
know,
these 3 words, you're going to stop listening.
all because I know at some point it's going to be my fault.
Yeah,
Even if I brought something to you, it's
it's
still
still
going to
on
end
me.
with it being, it's still going to end up being my fault. That's why I say it's kind of connected with the video we just saw.
Yeah.
So that it has to be more than these situations where men are feeling like, yo, no matter what I do, I'm the bad guy. So when you say, what are the keys to effective communication? We can remove that word effective because if I can't even say the words, how could I be effective? That's like, it's just not.
One of the keys to effective communication is active listening. And that's what's not happening. I actually had a friend just recently I had this conversation with where I was like, I can't tell you what I want if you literally aren't giving me a chance to answer the question. Have you ever had that person to ask you a question and then spend 15 minutes telling you why they asked you the question? And you don't even remember what the question is anymore? Because they didn't broke down why they asked you the question in the first place? It's just us. It's just us. You can
Okay.
just say you can blink 2 times if you can relate. There you go. All right. I get it. Here's the thing. Here's what I've learned. Here's what I've learned. I in my day job, I help people get jobs and I teach them communication tactics and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So you can say I get a different sample pool basically. At least once a month I get a new sample pool.
Mm-hmm.
Communication is not as common as we think it is, yeah, Mike. I need you I need you to understand. You need to understand if you really go all the way back to school, school taught you English. It never taught you communication when you really think about it. I taught you how to put the words together. I never taught you how to use the words. For 12 years, I taught you how to structure the words, but I never once taught you how to use the words.
Okay. So I told you before, I am a security supervisor. So I have a staff of people, of the guards and people I work with
Mm-hmm.
on the daily. And it amazes me how people, when they know there's, I guess, somebody in a higher position or whatever, how they really turn into children. It'd be stuff that you have to really break down. And I'm like, y'all really, do y'all see what's going on? If we just keep it here, don't go too high, don't go too low, and just be consistent about what we're doing, what we're watching, what we're looking for. We know the job. It does not change. We're not going from facility to facility. This is the same place. It runs the same way every time we come in here. Don't get too high, don't get too low.
Everybody
I
be cool.
promise. Everybody just be cool. And you sit there sometimes and you have to really I'm like, this is what we're upset about.
And somehow you got to walk the fine line between not invalidating, but also knowing that this is not something worth validating at the exact same time.
Hey, you
I
don't
get
know
it.
how often I use your quote. I'm not gonna even lie to you. This ain't the hell we're dying on.
It ain't.
Bro, I use your ears might ring because I promise
But
you.
I can imagine, bro. Mhm. Bro,
I'm just
it ain't some hills ain't worth dying on. And nowadays, I just tell people, not my monkey, not my circus. I got enough I'm dealing with. This ain't
I'm
worth it.
just
Hey, you need it. You clearly need this. I don't.
to
I
the
really
point
don't.
where I'm so like sometimes a lot of times when I'm so like, man, like that ain't about nothing. I almost feel like I'm not doing my job. I feel like I'm just too like because I've seen the points where you lay up there and I've been that guy. Like, man, we gotta do something. Let's fix it. And let's do it. And then somebody look at you and be like, that ain't it. Stay right here. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
this is, stay right here. I've tried it. So I'm like, so now I'm like, I'm trying to tell y'all, like, yo, like, let's just do this like this. Let's move like this. It works. I promise you it works. And they will find the littlest things to just, and I'm saying that to say, like, even inside of the relationship, some things are so little and we make them so big. And then you got the person that's so nonchalant because they know for a fact it's not a lot. But the other person sitting there saying, all you got to do is just fix this or say this and be like this and we'll be okay. Clearly, that's not the answer.
That's not it true. You and I both know that's not true. You and I both know that's a lie. Because here's the thing. This goes back to that accountability. You shouldn't say that all that needs to be fixed is that another person needs to do something. The only person that can be fixed is you.
It's you.
That's it. So all I've got to do is this and this and this, and it'll be fine. You ain't got to do nothing.
And then even when I do it, if you determine that I didn't mean it, even though I know I meant it, then we gonna keep going.
Yep.
And next thing I know,
Because you
we look
need a
up.
reason. You need to justify. Sometimes some people need to make you the villain.
I say this a lot of times: women want to be the hero, the victim, and the villain.
All in the same story. You can't play all the roles. You can't, and I get it. I get it. Somehow, when the CFMs come out, you're both the hero and the villain at the same time. Your villain is your hero. I get it. Thanos was right. I understand that. I'm a strong believer in Thanos was right. But you got to know when to snap and when not to snap. That's my problem. Because here's the thing, if you play the victim, someone else has to be the hero or the villain. Once you jump into the new role, guess what? Those other roles are up for grabs.
Mm-mm. I just paused that. I'm gonna go back to being the villain. I'm gonna go back to being the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, I want to be the hero. What's up? Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go back to being all those things. It just paused for a second. No, I'm all of them. I
Yeah,
can do
when you
all
done
things.
looking at the fallout, when everything's burning, and you're like, what are we gonna do? Oh, we French now? You from Canada? Huh?
I can
We
do
we.
all things, long as it don't make me look bad.
There it is.
I can do all things, long as it don't make me
Long as
look
don't
bad.
make me look bad. Yeah.
That's really what people are after. Like I want to be all these things until it makes me look bad. If being a villain looks makes me look bad, then yeah, you be the villain.
Like we just heard, who was that was on here? Was that Pink Nurse or somebody was like, I don't want to hear your feelings. While simultaneously, I want to tell you all mine.
And I think that's where, honestly, just to be real, I think that's where some men, frustration comes from. I think some of their being depressed. I think that comes from. I think that, and I think when people ask them how they feel, and they kind of like, I don't know, because you never get to be on the winning side.
No.
You only the winner, and unless you brought a gift. I
Yeah.
win when I brought a gift. I win when I paid a bill. I win when you don't have to worry about something, and I put it all on my back and come through.
But in the same reality, that's in your world. Even the rules for winning are different depending on who you talk to. Listen to me. Listen to me. Fred is the most toxic son of a bitch I know on the planet. I love Fred. You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
But in what Fred says, Fred speaks truth. Let me explain
Mm-hmm.
something to you. The mental and the mad are usually the truth in this world.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, you are in a relationship to save yourself. You either doing one or two things. You are either saving a person time or money, or you are adding to a person's power or peace. That is it. Because I can do it all alone. If I'm with you, you either add to my power or you add to my peace, or you're saving me time and money. That's it. Period.
But here's the thing, though. Nobody tells you that until you get there.
Yeah.
Until you've already set on the mantle, assume the position, thinking it's something else, and then they're like,
The
mm-mm.
thing is, they tell it to you without telling to you. There's a reason why celebrities only kick it with celebrities. There's a reason why royalty only weds into royalty. That's why it's a big deal when people like, what's her face? Jumps into the royal family. I don't even know her name, but you know who I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking about. It's a big
Mm-hmm.
deal because the peasants are coming on up into the ivory today. George and Wheezy. It's a
And that's
big
when,
deal.
but that's when shit changed, though, because people who weren't of that cloth try to come in there and change shit because they're coming from their reality. It's just like if we were, um, I never forget.
Yeah.
I remember being in church one time, and it was both the wife and the husband were both bishops,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember the wife was doing a sermon, and she said I come from a family where we didn't raise our voice when we was in the house, so we just kind of spoke to each other at a good level, a good pace, and that's how we talk. She said, but my husband, he come from a family where they did a bunch of screaming. So she said, I remember being upstairs and, baby, where you at? And da da da. And he always was screaming at the top of his lungs because that's what he comes from.
Yeah.
And she was like, hey, what are you doing? And so they had to learn how to kind of merge that. Now I'm sure she won. I'm sure of it in that scenario, but that's just what it is. I think when that's what we say opposites attract because we can take our experiences and kind of merge them together to try to make this quote unquote superpower. That don't always work because some people, you want to marry this person that comes from, like you said, this rich family and this prestigious background, and we don't put our elbows on the tables, and we eat our forks and our spoons, and we got
But you want to bring Kool-Aid to the tea party.
And you want to hold it with two hands.
Right? You want to turn it to the head at the white towel party. You want to turn it to the head.
And everybody looking at you crazy, and you like, what? That's who I am. What? But you
this ain't where you at.
Exactly.
Read the room.
A lot of people can't do that shit.
This is true.
And I just think everybody wants they want what the other person has, but you don't want to be what that person has to be in order to be that.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll try to manipulate you by saying, oh, you think you better than me. No. You knew what you was getting into when you decided to come over here.
Fact.
Or when we merged this thing, we both did it with the understanding of, hey man, you got to turn that shit down on both sides. We all can't yell and we all can't be like this. We got to find a way.
We got to find a happy medium.
Yeah, it's a balance.
And that's where she found one. Every now and again, he probably, baby. And then immediately he lowered it back down.
Right.
We find compromise. She didn't go upside his head every time, and every now and again
Couldn't.
she probably wanted the baby.
Right.
But
And just because that's you're right. You kind of find that you find
yeah,
that medium. But I mean, I think that's what it is. People agree to be in a situation where, and they agree to be, kind of compromise with somebody, and then they decide they don't want to, but they still want whatever that person brings to the table to give to them, and that's where we have to disconnect.
one of the keys for me for effective communication is making sure we both understand what the expectation is. Because in clarifying what my expectation is, we make sure we're on the same page. And to double down on that, I would say the main key to effective
Hmm.
communication is you have to assume positive intent. And that's easier said than done. A good example is you take you and me when we first started.
Hmm.
I always assumed positive intent, even when you was yelling. Not
Hmm.
one time did a thought, and I swear to you when I say this, because people know me. Not one time did I think a single negative thought. Not one time did I think he was stunting. He was nothing negative. It was
Hmm.
always. I'm like, if anything, I was like, maybe I'm not getting through to him. But it was still a positive intent, like I got to get through to him or something like that. You gotta assume positive intent if you want to truly communicate with people.
I will tell you this: the New Orleans in me at that time was like, man, this dude is challenging me on purpose. That's the way, like and that's why I'm like, man, who is this dude? But it got to a point where I was thinking so much about the conversation. I'm like, man, it's got to be something that I'm missing.
He wouldn't be standing on it like this.
Right. So I had to remove the New Orleans a lot of it, and say, okay, man, what is this? And I think that happens so much, and that's why, man, honestly, regardless of anything, man, I'm so appreciative for the people that I've met on this podcast for real. Like
Absolutely.
I really am, bro. And I mean that because they have y'all as a collective and as individuals have changed my perspective on a lot of things.
Every single person.
Having those
Every
conversations, you
single
know what I'm saying?
person.
And again, I learned to not always spaz. I learned to not, but again, there's times where I'm like, you know what? I gotta turn up. But there's other times, for the most part, it's like, nah, man, like I've learned to like, just say, damn, bro, you may not know everything about certain things that you thought you know, but even if you did know a lot about whatever subject, you can always learn more.
You can learn. Here's the thing, you don't know it from that person's perspective. That's how I
True.
look at it. A good
Hmm.
example is we go back to football. Yes, I know football, but if I was a wide receiver and you was a running back, we know two different footballs
Fact,
while knowing
fact,
the exact same football
fact,
at the
fact,
exact same time. That's the
fact.
best way to describe it. The position
Hmm.
you play is where you see from. And life is the same way. You have been in relationships. I have been
Hmm.
in relationships. But
Hmm.
my position and your position were two different ones. So we can both talk on it, but talk on it understanding that I'm just looking through a different camera than you, big dog. I'm
Hmm.
not saying your perspective is wrong at all. I'm just looking through a different
Again,
lens.
the new, but I think we
No,
all
but I'm
like that
saying
too.
that's how people
Yeah,
need to see it.
yeah,
Like,
for
no,
sure,
I'm
for
just
sure,
look at my camera and see what I see. But that's what we don't
man,
like to do as people. I tell you, hey, I'm looking at my screen and it looked like your grass ain't cut. You looking at
hmm
your screen and telling me it's cut. Maybe come look at my screen and see what I see. You may not see that your son missed the whole patch over
man.
here.
Listen, in the beginning, that New Orleans, Louisiana, Gretna,
Bro,
Jonestown
you ain't gotta
boy.
tell me. It's bred in us. It's bred in us. It's
I was
bred
just
in
like,
us. I
I'm
get it.
like, bro, who is this dude, man? But you know what I'm saying? Like, but it became so dope. So after a while, I started looking forward to those conversations and the
Absolutely.
challenge of it, and
Absolutely.
the challenge, yeah, for sure, and the challenges of those conversations
Cause y'all have
from
opened my eyes. Like I said, you take Fred. We crack jokes about Fred all day long.
hmm
But Fred be dropping some nuggets.
for sure, for sure.
I have had
Hey,
many conversations outside of this podcast with the same
me too.
Fred, and
Me
he'll
too.
break stuff down, and I'm like, well, how come you don't say it that plain in there? He's like, because that's not how it need to be. I was like, damn, I understand. He says there's
Nah,
a place and when to serve the type of message. I get that.
we've had me and Fred had some real conversations about in like real life, you know what I'm saying, outside of this, and just, you see that other side of it, you know what I'm saying, that and we've gotten that clear. Like the person that he was as a single man is not the person he is inside of a relationship. People
Absolutely.
got so caught up in listen to single Fred, they don't realize that there's not single Fred that's speaking as well. If you listen, you know what I'm saying?
Even when he was single, Fred, he still spoke from away. He speaks from both sides.
Right.
Because even when he's not single, he still speaks from the side. There's still a
Mm-hmm.
level of individual, not so much single that he's speaking from. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I can respect about him.
And that's like I said, for me, a lot of the way I grew up, just from my mom. Like my mom is a very loving, giving person, but my mom is very pro woman.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of the perspectives that she raised me with was honestly to the benefit of women. And it wasn't until I got older to where I started seeing different sides from women where I'm like, wait a minute, that's not what you told me that a woman was completely. And then we have these conversations, you start hearing some of the biasness, and I'm like, oh, okay, I get it now. So like when I hear guys talk from that certain perspective, and I'm like, for y'all, that's real woman. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know the word I'm looking for. It's real crafted
Yes.
from a woman. Like that's
Yes, that's a scripted narrative that you're getting right there. Hands
and I've
down.
heard
Yeah.
it, and that's why I'm so big
I
on
know the
out.
source
Like,
of that very dialogue. That did not
Mhm.
come out your mouth. It's like
Exactly.
you read that right off of a book. I can tell you the very book you got that from.
And that's why I'm so big on outs, and that's why like when I hear it, I'm so passionate about it. I'm like, bruh, you don't even understand what you're doing right now. You could tell me you don't, but you don't get it. And that's why I'll be like, you didn't see me, like, bruh, it's out.
Oh, I
No,
done seen it.
it's like you
Look,
cannot
I didn't
do
watch
that.
that eye twitch and everything. Where at some point you're like, stop it. Just
Exactly.
stop it.
Stop it, because no matter what message you have after the fact, once you're giving that out, that's all they want, brother.
Yeah.
Listen. Me and my mom have had some conversations that, no, it didn't get disrespectful, but it got heated to a point where it upset me, because I'm like, Mom, wait a minute, hold up. You have taught me a perspective from a woman my whole life. Now here I am with experience from what a man looks like, and I'm telling you this from the other side, and you can't hear it for 5 minutes.
Nope.
Why?
Nope.
Why? I don't understand it. I do not get it. And you have to break it down to the root, and then they finally begin to hear it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you just gotta understand that at the end of the day that you see from where you sit. It's not that they're right. It's not that they're wrong. But from where their perspective is, that's their truth. And we gotta accept that.
I fight for this thing, and this F word when it comes to men, called fair. I fight for it, that we don't get the benefit of having things fair, man. That man thing gets used against us so much, and I hate it. And that's why I'm saying, like,
I'm the first to tell you having a penis is a blessing and a curse. There's many doors. I'm man enough to admit there are many doors that open because I have a penis. Oh, but the level of expectation and the pressure to perform is equally as great.
I think the biggest one for me is they really believe men don't feel. Like we don't. They really believe that we don't. Not only do we don't have feelings,
That one.
we not even supposed to have them until you want me to have them.
Yep.
So no, I ain't no man first. I am a human being first. I'm a human being first, bro. I bleed, I cry, I get upset, I have my joys, I have all that, all wrapped into one. And some days you can't share that shit with nobody but you. You just gotta.
Not even your boy. You know how long it took for me to finally open up about what I went through? And I know I ain't the only person that go through it. It's been on TV since time forever. But when it happens to you, it hits different, bruh.
Listen, bro.
It hits
I've
different.
always been a person that I'll share. I'm one thing. I'm sometimes I know I talk too much personally, but I don't care because the reason why I don't care because no matter who I'm talking to, I know you got some things that in your back pocket that you ain't proud of neither.
Yeah.
So that's why it allows me to open up. But at the same time, though, bro, sometimes, bro, like looking in that mirror, laying in your bed at night and closing your eyes, all you got is you sometimes. Because don't nobody really understand what you go through or what you feeling like you.
Like you.
And like, people and I've gotten all type of tags. Man, you arrogant, you think you're better than people, you think it is, and you think you're that. And I'm just like, no, dog, I'm just me. But at the same time, like certain like I don't I don't consider myself no free thinker, but I like to think as an individual. I like to think for myself. I don't want to think in the crowd. We can agree, but I don't want to be in the crowd and say, okay, well, y'all feel this way. Because 9 times out of 10, with my fucking overly Gemini ass, I'm thinking something totally different.
One half of you is all on board with this conversation. Like you just said, the New Orleans part of you was like, hey, yo.
No,
That's
that ain't who. That's just what it is. And so, man, like that's why a lot of times I'm really not on the fucking same page with a lot of people. I'm
very
not.
much so.
And I know that I can be off-putting to people. But you know
Hey,
what?
look, you talking
I
to a
don't.
brother who gets called a robot because he too damn calm in situations. I've been called a computer and a robot and a serial killer because apparently I don't let stuff rattle me. Like I'm supposed to lose my stuff all the time.
I'm definitely not. I definitely won't be accused of not feeling like nothing rattles me. But, but I can
You like me
always,
on the other hand, or I'm
yeah,
bringing
yeah.
that smoke.
But I'm bringing it, but I'm always the first. Like I always feel like I can figure shit out,
Right,
even if it's
right,
in my
right.
way. I always feel like I can figure shit out, and like I'm real persistent on being who I am. Like I'm just I'm Mike, and again, like I said, I know I'm not for everybody, bro. But at the same time, I think at the end of the day, I feel like I can change a lot of people's perspective about me just if you're having true conversation when it comes
This is true.
to me, to me. And that's why, again, I don't always, say the things that everybody else would like me to say or in the way they want me to say it. But I mean, shit, I know what I mean.
Right, right. I
you
know what
know,
I signed up for.
right. So, but
Right.
man, it
No,
is 1:23, man. We finally we
it
did we
is.
came back and it was a dope conversation as it always is.
Always,
Um,
always. What
key
would you say?
takeaways.
Key takeaways. What you got for
Key
me?
takeaways.
Final narrative.
I think um communication and really listening to what people have somebody's telling you and not taking your own um the way that you think about something is important. I think if Irwin is telling me, man, look, I see a red and purple painting behind me. I can't tell you that it's blue. I can't make that shit be no. I can't make that shit be blue in your eyes. Never. I
Nope.
think when somebody's telling you what they are and what it is, listen to it.
And I'm love that you use this as an analogy because here's the beauty about life. You see this red and purple painting? Watch
Mm-hmm.
this. This is life, people. This is life. You see from where you sit. You're the
Fact.
hero or the villain,
Or the villain. That's a
depending
fact.
on where you sit. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
love about this painting. Even my painting has double meaning. Now, if you see the way I
That's dope.
placed it, you can kind of see both of them in it. It's by
Right.
design. I love that painting for that reason. Where you
That's
you see from where you
where
sit.
you sit. Mm-hmm.
And that's probably my key takeaway. We see from where we sit. If a person is telling you they see something, go where they're sitting. Sit where they sit and try to see what they see before you challenge what they say. Come over to where I'm at. Use your words. Let me see what I see. I don't have to agree with you to validate you. I say this all the time, but you see from where you sit. Try to see where that person's coming from and understand them.
And please stop trying to sit in both seats at the same time. Stop
You know
trying
why
to
people get upset in most people's movies? Is because they're trying to play for a part that they ain't been cast in yet. That's the problem. Play your part.
think about this. Think about this. In most gangster movies that you watch, when there's an organization, 9 times out of 10, that organization is taken down by the person who wants the top position but can't handle
But can't play his part
it.
every time.
Bro, you the driver.
Every
You the
movie.
bro. You
That
cold
is
at
your
driving.
job is to drive.
You drive.
You don't handle
You want.
logistics. You don't handle pickup. You don't handle drop off. You drive. That is your job.
And here's the thing. Well, people can move up, but you won't be. You won't move up before it's your time.
Master this before you move on to something else. That's it. That's it. No, like I said, I appreciate it. Like I said, we ain't been on in 2 weeks. We try to come through every Tuesday, but right now we'll let you guys know it's a little shaky right now because we all looking out. We're praying for Jay. He down there with that hurricane. Them hurricanes ain't no joke when they come through there. This
Right.
ain't as bad, but it's still water in the city.
Yeah.
And if you know anything about New Orleans, it don't take much water.
Man, life be life, and we gonna continue to try to do our best to get rejuvenated about what we doing here.
But I definitely want to. I like this narrative here. No pun intended.
Mm.
Let us have some serious debate. Let's ask each other serious questions. Like we talked about, this man talked about effective communication, asking what are some key things to effective communication. Rather than just say something about, let's see if we can start coming up with some solution, some type of narrative that we can discuss this further so that we can see from everybody where everybody comes from. It
Yeah,
couldn't hurt.
I mean, it definitely can't hurt to have the conversation because all this is dialogue at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
just learning. But I mean, I think it's dope. I think the conversations are always pretty cool, no matter where we. I think a lot of times, when you don't have certain outcomes that you may think, you start kind of questioning everything, and sometimes it's timing.
Yeah.
I definitely think we had a time where it was simple and it was new and it was fresh. Now we in this transition thing where we're trying to, it ain't as simple no more. I mean, it's simple to us. Send a link, get on,
Yeah.
but it's not like press a button and we pull you up and all that good
Exactly.
stuff. But whatever, man. We can talk
We'll
about
make
that.
it work. There's ways, and we're still looking to make things work at the end of the day. We see some people joined us on YouTube that followed us over from Instagram. We want to thank y'all, absolutely, because it only goes so long on Instagram until it jumps over to YouTube. So those of us who are watching on YouTube right now for that final half, basically they picked up at manipulation. We welcome you guys and we thank y'all for staying with us all the way through.
Appreciate y'all, man. So again, if there's any questions, any suggestions, man, we got the Instagrams up. Hit us up, man, and we gonna chop it and do our best to keep delivering a good message. So shout out to everybody. We're gonna go ahead on and get up out of here, man. So this has been Narrative Project Podcast. I am your boy Mike. That is Irwin the Fourth.
All
Jay
day.
the Icon. He's still, even though he's not here, he's still here.
He with us in spirit.
Gonna get up out of here, man. So we're gonna go ahead on. Y'all know how to
We
sing.
out.
So
Y'all know how to do.
1.
We out.